male dementia residents' sense of humour is different to the female dementia residents' sense of humour, of course, but in particular, because women are the majority in dementia units, they tend to be more assertive, whereas the men have to be confident to assert their sense of humour. And there was one instance where there was a gentleman, he'd spent all his life in the army, been an officer, etc., and he had a great sense of humour. And he used to lie on his bed between 9 and 10 each morning, because he used to say it was then that the lovely ladies used to come, the laundry girls, the cleaners, the carers. And he said, it's so much better having a lovely lady make your bed than a heavy, hairy-chested man. Imagine that. Oh, hell, he used to say. So he was very courteous, but he found that the Southeast Asian women, the carers, were lovely, and he enjoyed their company. And he used to say that it was like being at home, like your mother, caring for you and all your needs. You know, in your home, you've got your lovely, caring mother who's making your bed and doing your laundry and cleaning your room. And when you think about it, so many things, aside from also serving you your meals and cooking it. And all of that happens with various services in a dementia unit. And because most of the laundry and cleaning was done at that time after breakfast, between 9 and 10 o'clock, he used to find that if he lay there at that time on his bed, thinking as he did, right back with his army history, he could also talk to the ladies as they were doing their cares. And they liked him. They knew him, of course. They chatted to him. He'd served in the war all throughout Vietnam, Korea, Philippines. And so he knew their background. He knew their history and could remember that well, because he had a very good past history. And sometimes he even communicated history and told the girls, the Korean girls, about the war that they didn't know about because their parents didn't like to speak about it. And it was a horrific war, of course, as all war is. And he used to explain how the American soldiers and the Kiwi soldiers used to have their pockets stuffed full of sweets. And when the children, Korean children, used to come along, they'd dish them out to them. And this Korean carer said it was wonderful to speak to him. And she said, I don't know, it doesn't seem to me like he's got dementia because he's got such a good memory. And indeed he did. So he had his day planned out so well. He had his brass clock. He knew the time. He was orientated to time and direction orientation, all army training, as he said. Everything he knew, he attributed to the army. That army, I really changed my view on the army and the training and examinations and everything that you had to know to be there and be effective and efficient, which no doubt you do have to be when you think about it in a war, but I hadn't really got the point until he explained to me about surveillance, the importance of direction orientation, both within the unit, outside the unit. You really need to know about, the room positioning, the roles of everybody, the direction orientation, right, left, north, west, whatever, and outside the lay of the grounds. And with all that, when you have that in place, then you'll be able to orientate yourself. Now, he had a very poor present memory, but direction orientation, I'm sure that army training, like map reading for Girl Scouts, Girl Guides and Scouts, they can read maps. Dementia residents that have had that training at Girl Guides or Scouts, they can read maps even though their cognitive direction orientation is poor. So he used to explain to me about how he enjoyed this. And then after 10 o'clock, when the lovely carers, the lovely ladies as he called them, had finished their jobs, he would come out to the lounge and continue with the activities. Now, another thing that he used to do was he would always say, lovely ladies, and actually many men used to say this, the lovely ladies. They'd never refer to them as nurses or carers or really cleaners or laundry girls, though he did. But most of the men would say the lovely ladies. Now, in that way, it was actually a good ploy because they were then positioning themselves not in a medical facility, but in a place where they're being cared for and looked after, whether similar to a hotel or a home or a mix of when you think about it. And I said to him one day, okay, so these lovely ladies, and he treated them with respect, and he said, look, they're such a gentle race and they're so lovely, and indeed they are. All the Southeast Asian girls, staff are very good to the residents, very patient, very loving, very kind. And so he was just reiterating what everyone else felt, really, staff and relatives. But I asked him one day, this is where the humour comes in, dry and wry, I think, observational humour, improvisational too, probably. I said to him, okay, so thanks for telling me about all the Southeast Asian staff. How do you feel about the Kiwi staff, me being one of them? How do you feel about the Kiwi staff? How would you rate them, the females? No big explanation, no, none of the gentleness or kindness factors. All he said was, the Kiwi girls, born to be independent. Which actually sums it up, to be honest. Born to be independent. None of the lovely, gentle, everything else-ness in it. And I thought, yeah, strong, because Kiwi women are strong. We're taller, we're stronger, we're bigger than Southeast Asian women are. But the Southeast Asian women, half the size, twice the speed. Probably we, I don't know, have twice the strength, or not twice, but certainly speed factor. Southeast Asian women are so quick and so fast. Small, definitely. And of course, the Kiwis, bigger, taller, maybe stronger. So very different. But anyway, wonderful working at Dementia Units. All this fun, flair and flavour is in these two books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both from a Dementia Unit, both on Amazon, and my website description below, all about the residents' daily lives. That's the interesting part. First half of each book in a novel format, second half DIY educationals, formatted right through, everything you need to know for someone coming into a dementia unit with the resident's voice, or already in the unit, Resident's Rise. So thank you for your comments, likes and subscriptions, and please pass on the links. Thanks.